everybody. Today we're having the Feast of Food, better known as Thanksgiving. I'm here to share some really special little recipes with you. Some of our staff sent some recipes that they've had at their Thanksgiving meals in the past, and I'm going to share some of those recipes with you. But for now, I'm going to share some of the things that we have here for you, some of our cookbooks that we have here in the library, and some of the dishes that I have made from some of the recipes that I found, and some that we make in my family when we get together for Thanksgiving. This year Thanksgiving is going to be a little different, so we may have to cut down and not make as much as we have in the past, but it doesn't mean we still can't enjoy each other's company and make good food. So we're going to start off with a snack. And I know in our household, while we're still trying to get food ready, we put out a bowl of chips or something like that. But I thought, hey, let's put out something that's really abundant right now, and always is a nut snack, which is almonds, walnuts, dried cranberries, and dried figs. I mean, you could use dried dates if you want, but I thought that was kind of a nice mixture. So you could put that on your table while they're watching football or watching different things on TV, and while you're in the kitchen still trying to get everything situated and made. Another fine thing that we have here is our cornucopia. And it's all the different squashes and produce that comes out this time of year. And it's really great because we've used these now. We make different dishes like the acorn squash, which I've made over here. I've made an acorn squash. I've baked it. I cut it, took the seeds out, and baked it with a little bit of butter, maple syrup, and a few spices. So we kind of spiced it up but made it sweet. And you just bake it until it feels soft and ready, and boy does it smell really good in your kitchen while this is cooking. So if you're looking for something to do with an acorn squash, maybe you want to present that at your Thanksgiving dinner or at any type of dinner that you make. It's really a simple, easy, a vegan, vegetarian, low-fat type of food. It's filling and it's good. Another thing too that comes out is pumpkins. We have all variety of pumpkins that come out. Well, yes, we make pumpkin pies and all that. But something that I grew up with, and my dad and my mom used to make a lot, is after the pumpkins were used for Halloween, they would cut them up and they would grate them. And that was the biggest chore, sitting there and grating the pumpkins. And then they would take and grate some onion, egg, flour, and a little bit of spearmint that my dad grew in the yard. And they would mix it all together and they would fry them. And they would make these little pumpkin meatballs, we used to call them, but they were so good, and you couldn't stop eating them because they tasted pretty good. And as a kid, a lot of people said, ugh, pumpkin, but once you started eating it, you'd forget there was pumpkin in there. That's how good it was. And I still make them to today. Another vegetable that comes up is butternut squash, and everybody cooks with butternut squash a lot. People make the noodles or just get them and bake them, and that's what we have right here. We have some butternut squash. Again, it's cubed, spices, maple syrup, brown sugar a little bit. So we kind of keep the spices and the salt and the sweet kind of going with some of these vegetables. And it's a great dish, a side dish. You can mash them and make a mash, or you could just roast them, which is really nice. And speaking about roasted, we have these beautiful little Brussels sprouts, which are abundant now. They're coming in, and a lot of people have just started getting used to eating Brussels sprouts. I remember a lot of people don't like them, but there's so many ways now that you can use Brussels sprouts and make them really appealing and taste good. And one of the dishes I have here, it's Brussels sprouts, zucchini, and butternut squash, a little bit of spices, olive oil, and get this, I take a little balsamic vinaigrette and I toss it together. You can marinate it overnight or just marinate it for a few minutes and then toss it in your oven and they bake. A great dish again for a side dish. So these are some of your side dishes that you could have along with your mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes or your carrots for Thanksgiving. So it's a feast of food. Thanksgiving is that time of year where we're thinking everything that comes in that time of year. We're trying to find recipes to how to prepare some of these foods. But it's not just at Thanksgiving to enjoy them. Enjoy them year round because they're really great foods. And of course, we have our special desserts. Again, this is a pumpkin chocolate chip bread. And using puree pumpkin and putting some chocolate chips in there kind of gives it a little kick. especially some people that don't really like pumpkin, but try it with the chocolate chips and you might enjoy it. And then of course we have our apple butter, which is another thing, making jellies a lot this time of year and saving them for the winter time. And it's really great to have that at Thanksgiving, along with your cranberry sauce, which is really nice too. You can have it change. And this little fella right here is a chocolate pecan pie, a little one. We made these little pies so that way you don't feel guilty about having a big slice, because it's a little one, but it's just enough pecan and chocolate chip in there to give you that extra kick that you like for sugar. So, like I said, we have some really special recipes that some of the staff here at the library are sharing. And one of the ones is cranberry relish that was shared to us by our children's librarian, Kathy. And it sounds like a really neat recipe. Again, if you want some of these recipes, we'll have them online, or better yet, stop by the library and ask us about the staff library recipes for Thanksgiving. Another one is cherry salad that was shared to us by Catherine, our assistant director here at the library. And she says that they have this a lot at their Thanksgiving table, and it's called cherry salad. So again, if you want this, you can check the recipe online, or you can come into the library and you can share the recipe with you. Another one is cranberry applesauce, which Sandra from the children's department has also shared with us. She likes this one, and it has just a lot of cranberries and cinnamon and all the good stuff in there, if you really like cranberries. And this one was sent to us by Mark. Mark works in our makerspace, and this is kind of different. This is a banana bread that he makes, and guess what? There's a special ingredient inside this banana bread. I'm not going to give it away. You're going to have to check it out online, or better yet, you can come in and we can share this recipe with you. Another one is by Lori, one of our part-time staff, is sweet potato stuffing. Now that's different. That's a good way to use your sweet potatoes. Again, this sounds really great. It's got a lot of different things in here. So again, you want this recipe? Check it out or come on in. And of course, Roland is sharing one of her special recipes. She says this one is great. It's Brussels sprouts with chestnuts and a hollandaise sauce. Now that sounds really rich and good. Again, come on in. We'll share the recipe with you. And then we have the special recipe from Nancy, who works for us. It's called a beef pork stuffing. Now, most of our stuffings, we have bread in them, but this is a little different. It's got beef and pork, and again, she's used this at her Thanksgiving over the years. And it's a different type of stuffing, and it sounds really yummy and appealing, so again, check it out. And David, one of our part-timers, shared his special cheesecake. And David calls this the best cheesecake ever. He even has a picture of it. And it looks really great. And David said that they've been making this for years for holidays, and he says it's one of the best cheesecakes he's ever had. And he's very proud of it, and he's made it. So we have a lot of really interesting, great recipes here. If you like them, you can check them out online, or you can come down to the library and we have them here. We can make a copy of them for you. Better yet, if you come down, check out some of our cookbooks that we have if you're trying to get some ideas for the Feast of Food, Thanksgiving. Thank you for giving me this chance to talk about all these wonderful dishes, and have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone.